Oh, it's so beautiful to see you all here. Beautiful. I feel this warmth. I feel this spirit. I feel at peace. And it's a very beautiful feeling. Um, we all live in a very complicated world. So when opportunity comes, a knocking, it is a true blessing. Before I jump into it, I also must have to acknowledge myself, my blessings to Miss Rosie and Mr. Ross, Mr. Jim and Miss Sharon, Mika, my brothers, Jay and Mika also, blonde Mika and brunette Mika. We are very honored to be here. We've come a very long way. Originally, when I met Rosie, it was on a different platform. I was on a journey myself. I was on a journey to find myself. And I was very blessed to be, many people, as Rosie had this dream, many others have had it as well. And this is something that I've learned to process as you don't question how or why you come to somebody. You don't question how or why you have an impact on somebody. You learn to understand, sympathize, and embrace. And embracing the souls of people who you have had an impact on without even opening your mouth. Embracing people that are moved by the way we look, by their love for our culture, or even fans of what we do for our job. So understanding the concept of embracement and embracing was what I wanted to share with Rosie, because originally it was going to just be me. And I knew that that was not how it was going to be. I also had to embrace my papa's vision. And in doing so, I also fulfilled his vision, because he has a very, very beautiful idea and spirit and a desire to make an impact on this world, one conversation at a time. And that's all it takes, one conversation at a time. Changing the world isn't something we do overnight. It's not a recipe. It's not add 2 scoops of flour, 1 teaspoon of sugar. It's about taking initiative. It's about embracing the very essence of what we are seeing and what we are feeling and how we process who we are and how do we become a part of this bigger system, because we're all part of this bigger system. You are just one little piece of a big system. And in understanding that and knowing that you are already ready to take that first step, because that's why you're here. So in the spirit of taking that first step, I'm proud and honored to introduce the words of my elder, Saginaw Grant.
Thank you, Rick. Last night, I spoke of a person in the audience that was having a situation in their life that was hurting them very much. And I invited them to come down. It took a while, but they showed up. And I talked to them. And all it took was just the want to get your life straightened out. There's a lot of things that happen in our lives that we let impact us, and they shouldn't really. Last night I spoke of these things, that whatever mistake that we've made in life, whatever happened to us in life that we don't want other people to know about, you yourself can get rid of it by thinking, using your own mind. Whatever happened to anyone in this audience here that did something that's on their mind even right now. It's already in the past. It's already happened. You can't change it. You can't say, well, I'll go back and change it. You can't do that. It'll be that way forever. So why hold on to something that we don't need in our life that could impact us in a way that we can't be who we really are? I know that sounds simple, and it is. Very simple. There's a lot of things that happened in my life that made me see, if I just put my mind to in the right place and use it the way it's supposed to be used. You know, I made a lot of mistakes in my life. And I shared this the other day with some people. I was an alcoholic 60 years ago. I was in San Francisco. I made myself homeless. I had a home back in where I came from, Oklahoma. I have land back there. But I chose to be in the position I was in when all this took place. I woke up one morning very sick, needing something to calm my nerves, to settle me down a little bit. So I got up. It was early in the morning. And I walked the streets. I walked right downtown in San Francisco. And while I was walking there, it became more crowded as I was walking. And I happened to look up and I seen a gentleman, a tall gentleman, coming down the street. He wore his hair like I wear mine. As soon as I seen him, I got ashamed. So I didn't want to see him. I didn't want to speak to him. I didn't want nothing to do with him. And I turned to my left, and I acted like I was window shopping. My clothes were dirty. I was broke, sick. But I stood there and looked at in this window. And somebody come up behind me, touched me on the shoulder. And I turned around and it was this gentleman. He was standing there. He said, what are you looking at? And I said, I was just looking at this, what's in that window? He said, I seen you. Why did you turn away? And I told him, I said, I was ashamed of myself. And he said, well, let's talk. He said, I want you to come with me. I want you to take me someplace. I said, all right. So he said, let's go get a cab. So we walked to a cab and got in. He told the cab driver, take me down on the pier. I want to go down and look at the ocean. We started down there. We got down there and got out. He said, get out. So I got out and went, sat down on a bench. We was sitting there talking. He said, where are you from? I said, Oklahoma. He said, what tribe are you? I said, I'm Sac and Fox. He said, well, I come from up north. But he didn't tell me what tribe he was. He said, I want you to, he seen I was nervous and uneasy. He said, what's wrong with you? I said, I'm sick. I'm an alcoholic. And this would straighten you up, make you feel better. And I said, a drink. He said, a drink of alcohol? I said, yeah. He said, okay, let's just fix that. He said, reached in his pocket, got his billfold, looked in and got his bill out, $100 bill. He said, here, go get you what you need. So I took it and I went to a liquor store. I got me a bottle and I came back. But on the way back, I took a drink. So I was feeling better by the time I got back to where we were sitting. He said, did that help? I took another drink. I said, well, it's affecting me now. I said, I feel better. He said, well, let's talk to you a little while. He said, tell me something about you. Who's your folks and how come you're way out here? And I began to talk to him. And he said, I want you to do something for me. I never gave him back his change from that $100 bill. I want to spend about $5. But I had it in my pocket, and I knew I didn't give it back to him. I didn't forget it. I was hoping that he would. But he said, I want you to do something for me. Go out here on this pier and go out to the end of the pier and look out and tell me what you see. Tell me what's out there. So I said, all right. And I walked out there. I got out there and the fog was just coming in because the fog, you can see the fog in San Francisco when it's coming in inland. And I looked and I didn't see anything. Blank. So I turned around and went back there and I told him, I said, he said, what'd you see? I said, I didn't see anything. He said, did you look real good? I said, yeah. So I said, okay. So we sat there and I took another drink. I was feeling pretty good then. And he said, I'm going to have to be going here in a few minutes. He said, are you hungry? And I was. And I said, yes. He said, okay. He said, why don't you go get us a couple of sandwiches and I'll eat with you. And I said, all right. So again, he pulled his billfold out. And again, he gave me a $100 bill. He said, go get a couple of sandwiches for us. So I said, all right. So I went down to a grocery store, got some sandwiches. And I come back and he wasn't there. And I looked around and I said, I got his money and I got his change from both $100 bills. So I said, I better not try to go because he may call the law on me. So I sat there a while. I took another drink. And I thought about what he wanted me to do, so I went back out on the pier. And I looked out there, and again, I didn't see anything. The fog was all there. So I turned back around and I went back. I said, well, he should be back by now. But he wasn't there. But still, I didn't want to go off and let him know that I was going. And that money was burning a hole in my pocket. And I sat there, I said, well, I better at least be honest with this man. But he never did show up. And as I sat there, I thought about what he wanted me to do. He wanted me to go out there on that pier to see what I could see, the way my life was. I went out there and I looked again. And again, I didn't see anything. It was just a blank. I walked back. And I remember what my grandfather told me one time. He said, every story, every happening here on Mother Earth has a meaning. We may not be told the meaning of what takes place, but it has a meaning. And I knew right then what it meant when I didn't see nothing out there. It was the way that I was living my life. I didn't have nothing. I walked away from it. And I thought, well, he's telling me that I have nothing in my life. And he's telling me the truth. He didn't come right out and say it. I made up my mind right then. I'm going home. I have enough money to get home. So that's what I did. And that was the last time that I ever took a drink. Because he showed me what was in my life, and there was nothing. When I got home, my dad was glad to see me. Fed me, wanted me to go to sleep, so I did. But I woke up. After I woke up, well, I felt good. I didn't have no shaking or anything. I was just completely without withdrawals. And that was a miracle in itself. And I remember what my grandpa told me. Everything has a meaning in this life that we live today. We may not know the answer at that time, but if it affects us where we think about it, then it has a meaning, and that you should follow that way. It was 60 years ago, maybe a little bit more, that I took my last drink. And since then, I've been on this journey that I'm traveling about telling my young people to keep our traditions, keep the way that our parents, our elders lived their lives. A native child, well, any child really, is always told how to live your life, how to appreciate the things in life. Life might not be what you expected of it, but when you don't have no expectations and just live your life, knowing that the things that happen in your life before that time that you made that decision doesn't matter. Don't let it affect you. Keep it away from you. Last night we had a young lady here who had been bitten by a snake 5 times. 5 times. And she kept getting sick, kept getting it bothering her. And that took me back to what happened to me. Something told me that to be rid of the things that was bothering me, when there's seen nothing, it taught me that whenever I encounter situations in my life today that bother me, I get rid of them. they're completely gone because I can't use them. All they do is stay on my mind and cause me to have negative thoughts because maybe I can go back and change that. Maybe that didn't happen, but it did happen. I have to accept that in my life. And like I said, everything that my elders told me when they wanted to make a point with me, they told me about things and stories. And I want to give you one right now. When the Creator created Mother Earth, He put everything in its place where they belong. So after He had finished, He was satisfied. Then again, He thought, I think I'll go back down and talk to some of the creatures on Mother Earth, see how they are thinking, see what is on their minds. So He came back, He was walking along there. He seen a dog, Nemo. Grandson, come here, I want to speak to you. Nemo, the dog, come over there. Yes, what do you want? He said, I want to talk to you, let's walk. So as they walked along, he was talking to Nemo. He said, you see that pine tree way up on that mountain there, that tall tree there, standing up by itself? Nemo looked up there and he said, yeah, I see it. The Creator said, I want you to go up there. I want you to go up there. And I want you to wait on me up there. I'll be up there. I'll be waiting for you. Nemo said, you want me to go now? He said, no, wait a minute, let's walk. So they just kept walking. And they met a turtle, Mishika. Grandson, come here, I want to speak with you, the Creator asked him. So that turtle come over there. He said, grandson, you see that tree up there? I just talked to Nemo here and pointed out that tree to him. Do you see it? That turtle looks up there and said, yes. He said, I want you to go up there to that tree. I'll be up there to see you. I want to talk to you. Mishika said, okay. You want me to leave now? He said, no, let's walk a little bit. So they walked, and finally they stopped, and the Creator said, okay, I want you both to go to that tree up there that I showed you. Take your time, do what you need to do, go into that tree. I'll be up there when you get up there. Nemo said, well, we'll let my brother Mishika go first. He's so slow. Let him take off first, and then I'll go after him. Nemo was a greyhound, a fast dog. So Mishika took off, started walking, taking his time. He'd walk so far and then raise his head up, look around, look all around, get back down and start it again. Nemo said, well, can I start now? And the Creator said, yes, go. Nemo took off running fast as he could. It took him no time to get up there to that tree. He got up there. He was all breathing hard. The Creator was already up there. Nemo said, what did you want to tell me? He said, well, we'll wait here. Wait on your brother, Michigan. He'll be up here. He's coming up here too. So they waited. They made camp. They stayed there 3 moons waiting on Michigan. Nemo got restless. He said, Creator, maybe we should go look for Michigan. Maybe something happened to him. The Creator said, no, I know everything that goes on here on Mother Earth. He'll be here tomorrow afternoon. Sure enough, the next day, somebody hollered in, camp, permission to come in. The Creator said, come on in. Here comes Michigan. Come walking in. The Creator said, eat something. Sit down by the fire there. Rest, and then we'll talk. I want to talk to both of you. So he said, okay. So he ate. They got through eating, laid back there, and they said, how do you feel? He said, okay. He said, here's what I want each of you to do. Tell me. Nemo, you were the first one up here. Tell me what you seen coming up here. Tell me what you did on your way to this tree. Nemo looked at the Creator and he said, I didn't see anything. I had no kind of experience. Did I do anything wrong? The Creator said, no, you did exactly what I wanted you to do, what I asked you to do. You're all right. Turn to Michigan. Michigan, I want you to tell me what happened on your way up here. He kept them there 4 moons, telling both of them about all his adventures going up there. He didn't go straight to that tree, but that was his destination. He experienced a lot of things on his way up there. He didn't go in a straight line. He went here and there. And every so often he would raise his head up. You've seen terrapins do that. Raise their head up and look around. He was observing the things that went around on Mother Earth. That's how come it took him 4 moons. That's how come he kept them there 4 moons talking about his adventures. The Creator said, you're a wise animal. You experienced a lot of good things coming up here. Nemo here. Everything. He remembers nothing about what he did in life. And that's where we run our lives today. All of us here in this room. We're so much in a hurry today that we miss a lot of things that take place in our lives. If we would just take our time, things happen around us every day of our lives. Things that we can use, things that we can appreciate, things that we can remember. So the principle of this story is take your time. Take your time. Live your life. Don't just go through it quick. You had no stories to tell. But if you take your time, you learn a great deal. You become wise. You become knowledgeable. There's stories like this that my grandpas and grandmas told me. And I use these things as an example of how to live my life. That's why today I have a lot of good memories a lot of positive memories about my life. That's why tonight you're looking at a satisfied mind, a satisfied man. I don't want anything. I'm given everything that I need in life, every day of my life. Somehow the Creator provides my food, my shelter, my way of talking to people and appreciating people. So I have a full life. But today a lot of people, and we're all guilty of being in a hurry, wanting things done quick, taking shortcuts. When you take a shortcut, you miss out on a lot of things that could be happening over here, things that you could use, things that would fulfill your life. There are a lot of things that happen in my life today that make me realize that if I take my time, a lot of good things, positive things happen in my life. I've been to many places here on Mother Earth. A native person that never gets the opportunity to be in these places. But I've been to these places. I've been around the world 2 times. Not because I wanted to, but because I took my time and let things take place in my life. Let things happen in my life. Just as I'm here tonight speaking with you, trying to relay to you a message of take your time. Take your time. Don't hold on to the negative things that you've done in life that you don't want other people to know about. Forget about them. Like the lady last night, she kept coming back to that one incident in her life when that snake bit her 5 times. And it bothered her. If she had let go of that when that happened, she wouldn't be in the condition that she was in. I don't like to use the words worry, problem. Everything that happens in our life are situations. Situations. Happenings. And there's a solution to every situation. To every situation. You have to make that decision of finding that solution. The solution of that would be forget about it. It ain't doing you no good. It's just clouding your brain up, your memory. You know what? Technology is very important in our lives today. Because of technology, a lot of things have been invented. A lot of things that are time savers that help us. But today, and we're all guilty, we don't want to solve our own situations. We don't use our mind no more. A situation comes up, you go to that computer, punch these buttons, punch these keys. You don't use your mind. You don't try to find the solution yourself. You depend on something mechanical. You rely on technology. It's good to a point, but we abuse that. There was a time in all of our lives that at the end of the day, when we sat down to dinner, We shared with each other. We talked about what we did during the day. We appreciated hearing the stories what happened in your life. Today that don't happen. We're all texting at the table. We forget about we're with our family. We forget about solving our own situations. We'll use something automatic. When we lose our minds, what are we going to do? When we no longer try to find a solution, right or wrong, at least you used your mind in finding the solution that you come to. So today's society is don't care for no one anymore. No one respects no one anymore. You're in such a hurry. All of us, I include myself, but I don't use a computer. I use a phone, but only to talk on when somebody calls me. My wife gets mad at me because I can't use a computer. I could if I wanted to. If I wanted to forget everything else that's in my life. If I fail to see a sunset, if I fail to see the sun come up in the morning, I miss out on that. We're in such a hurry today. We miss a lot of things that are meaningful. We miss a lot of things that the Creator put here for us to enjoy. There's a place in Arizona called Sedona, one of the most beautiful places in the state, well, in the country. Beautiful places over there, mountains. My people say that's God's place. That's where He lives. You don't live there. You can go there. You can go there and visit. Look around. See all the beauty that's there. But don't live there. If you live there, you spoil everything. You want to build things up. It's that way today. Sedona's not a place of beauty anymore. Mankind is wasteful. They throw trash on the ground. We treat Mother Earth like she doesn't matter. She's been here for centuries, millions of years. Do we try to keep her beautiful? No. We tear her down. So much cement on her that she finds it hard to breathe. But it's coming to a point today. And if we don't do anything to make her well again, to make her beautiful again, she's going to leave us. I believe that we still have enough time to repair the things that we have taken from her. The oil, the coal, chemicals from the ground. Even today, you see sinkholes developing, falling in, caving in. She's trying to let us know that we need to make her beautiful again, and we can. You can't go to a forest anymore without having a lot of regulations that keep you from enjoying Mother Earth. Don't touch that tree. Don't walk among the trees here. They pretend they're taking care of her, but we're not. I would say that we have about 4 generations before it's too late. Even today, people are trying to find other places to destroy again. Going to different planets, going to Mars, going to the moon. These are the people who caused it in the first place. Now they're the ones that have the money, the ability to go to these places. All of us can't go because we don't have the funds to do that. But the ones who have destroyed Mother Earth do have the funds to go to another place to make it the same way that we've done to Mother Earth. We fail to enjoy Mother Earth in our haste in life. We get in such a hurry. We don't appreciate the things that are around us. How many of us in this room here see the sunrise in the morning? Not very many, but at least there's some. It's a beautiful sight. When I wake up in the morning, I talk to my Creator. I talk to Him. I don't ask Him for anything. The shortest prayer that you can ever say is thank you. Thank you, God. When you say that and mean it, you cover everything that we make our prayers to be long. When we mention every little thing, all you have to do is say, thank you, God. Thank you, Creator. You cover everything. A lot of people want to sit and talk, pray, ask for things. If you're in such a hurry, just say that prayer that I said, the shortest prayer. Thank you. Thank you, God. But mean it. You know, there are a lot of things that take place here on Mother Earth that we take for granted or we don't appreciate. There's a prayer that the Caucasian people have. It's called the Lord's Prayer. It goes, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. That part of it, people recite. They don't mean what they say. They memorize it. It's memorized. They don't really realize what they're saying. Thy will be done. Not my will, but thy will. Your will. Your will, Creator, be done in my life. I do my best to live that way. I let things happen in my life that are supposed to happen. Tonight, you're wondering why you're here. There's a reason. There's a reason that we're all here tonight together. It's a fellowship. We come looking for something. I'm trying to give you a few things that you can use. Let things happen in your life, not what you want, but let things happen. These are the things that you need in life. Every one of us here in this room here has a talent. Something that we can do that other people can't do. Maybe write, maybe paint, draw, maybe be able to speak, maybe able to build things. But we all have a calling. We have a limited time here on Mother Earth because of the revolution that has started about all the technology. Our planet is getting overcrowded because we don't work ourselves. We don't build anything ourselves that are worthwhile. We don't appreciate a lot of things that are here for us to enjoy. The Creator made every one of us, or put us here on Mother Earth to enjoy, not to worry. I don't like to use that word. It's a negative word. Not to appreciate. We don't appreciate nothing no more. Would rather take a shortcut. Would rather greed is something that we all have. We would rather take something from someone rather than work for it. How many of us really believe and really try to have the will of God in their lives and not just recite it, not from memory, but to really feel what you say? Thy will be done. My people, the native people of this country, not only this country, but all countries, have always prayed, had always recognized the Creator and His creation. All the people, native people my age, get up in the morning before the sun rises, before the sun comes up, because we want to be here, awake, to say good morning. Good morning, Grandpa, son. Glad you come back. It makes the sun thankful that someone is waiting for him to come here again. My people believed nature is something for us to enjoy. The things that take place in our life, we let happen. It's not hard to live this kind of life. To wake up in the morning and wait for the sun to come up. It may sound silly, may be nothing to it, but I always manage to say, good morning. Good morning, Grandpa, son. When I see the moon, good morning, Grandpa Moon. I pray. I give thanks for everything that takes place in my life. That's why my thoughts are positive. I look for good things to happen to my life, good things to happen to me, and they do. Like I said, I've been all over the world. Not because I wanted to be there, but because I was guided there. I was supposed to be there. That's what the Creator had in store for me before I was ever born. My name, Wapima. It means great fish. Great fish, that's the clan I belong to. My brothers, my sister, my mom and dad belong to the Fox clan. The Fish clan was a chief clan, was the one that to guide my people. Hereditary chief. I'm that hereditary chief because I'm the oldest in that clan now today. And maybe this is why I speak of things that I know about. I didn't have to go to school to be that chief because I worry about, there goes that word again, I think about my people, all people, regardless of the color of their skin. I don't understand why some people say things about different people, different nationalities. We're all the same. There's a man in Asia that has 2 arms just like I do. A man in Europe has legs just like I do. We're all the same in body, with limbs, a mind. Why can't we be true kin to each other, brother, sister, grandpa, grandma, aunts, uncles, cousins, and respect one another? No, we can't do that. Why? Because you don't believe in what you say when you say the Lord's Prayer. Thy will be done. That's the will of God, for us to be kin to each other, for us to be brothers and sisters. It's not that hard. We can hate. It takes a lot of courage to hate. You have to have a lot of effort to do that. When you can love someone, it doesn't cost you anything. When you compliment someone, when you make somebody feel good, it doesn't cost you nothing. It doesn't take away nothing from you. It builds you up. It makes you feel better. Whenever I'm able to do something for somebody, it makes me feel good. But it also makes the one that I did something for feel good, to show him that I care about him. So it's a circle we can make happen if we believe the Word of God. And I don't think that there's anyone here, they would call them atheists, They say they don't believe in God, but if something happens, the first thing they say, God, help me. Help me, God. Forget I said you don't exist. It's too late then. I was always taught to try to speak the truth, to live the truth. That's why my thoughts, wherever I go, are positive. I don't criticize no one. The things that happen to me, I do to myself. My leg here, I'm crippled in my leg. I seen a doctor. He said, "Yeah, we can fix you up. We can fix it where you can walk on it, use it again." It was my choice. It hurts me sometimes, but I don't complain because I'm the one that hurts. I'm the one that suffers from not getting it fixed. No one else keeps me from doing that. It's my choice. But I made that choice because I'm here tonight. I think that what I have to say is more important than what I have to go through. And I know that anything in this world that happens to me, I can endure because I believe in God. He doesn't let things be overcrowded with me. I can go through anything that happens to me because that's His will. So when I don't do things for other people, I don't do His will because I could take care of this. But I choose to experience this hurt that I have because there's a reason that I'm here tonight. Last night there was someone in the audience that was having a hard time. I feel things like that. Everyone here tonight is normal. As normal as you can be with all the things that we do in life. And I feel good when I talk to people when everything is, you may not be satisfied, but you live your life. How many this morning when they woke up thanked the Creator? There's not very many. I know Roseville. But there's not very many people who remember to do that. It doesn't take, you don't have to pay to do that. Do it because you want to. Do it because you want a good life. It doesn't cost anything to say, God, have your will in my life. You know, when the first pilgrims came to this country, they were asked, why did you come to this country? You have a country across the waters, but why did you come here? Their answer was, because you have freedom of religion. you have freedom of religion. But after they had been here for a while, they took the religion of the native people of this country away. They said, you can't do that. We'll pass laws that said you can't talk to God like that you can't believe in God, that you can't have your dances, your ceremonies. If you do, you don't have that right. You don't have that right to do that. But that was their excuse for being here in the first place. It took an act of Congress in the United States. It took an act of Congress for us to openly worship the way that we always worshiped, the way we always thought about God and did His will. An act of Congress. We're the only people that had to have that law passed, that we could go to church, have our sweat lodges, have our big lodges, have our teepees. They took that away from us when they took everything else. We're not recognized anymore. And maybe this is on the journey that I'm taking to get our people recognized, to be thought of. Think about that, 1978, that's not very long ago. We can have our sweat lodges now. We can do our ceremonies. We can do our dances. We don't just get out there and hop around when we're out there dancing. For everything that we do in our ceremonies, there's a reason. That drum, that instrument that we use, that's the heartbeat of the native people in this country, or in the United States, and this country too. The way that we talk to God, we talk to Him like a friend because He is a friend. He looks after us. He gave us this life that we have. You got your life. Use it the way that you think you need to use it. That judgment day, when it comes, you'll have to answer for all that you've done. When that time comes, I wonder how many people will really be happy. I know that everyone here in this room here has done something wrong. We sin. We sin every day of our lives. Every one of us. Every one of us. That's almost like what I say to some people when I talk about a headache. I've never had a headache in my life. I don't know what it is for my head to hurt, because I don't want it. Our minds are very powerful. Our minds can change lives. Our minds can create situations that a lot of people don't even think about. It's the way that we live, the way that we think. We have names for different religions, call different names. But to be, if you will, I'm not criticizing Christians. Some people call themselves Christians. Some people are Catholics. Some people different types of religion. Those are man-made. And man is not perfect. They don't share with each other. I'm a Christian. I'm better than you are. You're Catholic. What? Stay over there where you belong. We worship the way that we worship as Christians. What difference does it make? God didn't, when we created, He didn't say, you're a Christian, you're Catholic, so on, so on. We're all one people. We all have two arms. We all have two legs. We all have a mind. Let's use it. Let's use it in a way that we can be brothers and sisters. Be at peace with each other. Help each other whenever we can. Say good morning to someone, not morning. Why can't we do that? Is it that hard? I don't find it that hard to do that. A lot of my people don't find it hard to do that. Every one of us here, if we think about it, can do that. And if everyone did that every day of their lives, this would be a completely different society that we live in. If we helped each other, if we did things for each other, if we complimented each other, if we didn't get prejudiced against each other, this place would be a paradise once again. Even our Mother Earth would be beautiful once again. Several years back, I rode a plane and looked down and I seen how beautiful Mother is. And she could be that way again. If we just put it in our minds to do the right things. Take care of Mother Earth. A lot of us can't even take care of ourselves. Can't even take care of our families. Because you don't believe in a higher power. He's with us all. He's with us all. We all have to believe one way, and that's to love our Creator because of the things that He's put in our lives. The things that you have today, you bought yourselves. But these are material things. Does that satisfy you? Does that make you happy because you own a Cadillac or a Bentley? Does that make you happy? Are you calm? Are you satisfied? No. You still want more. You still want more. and you do anything to get more. It's called greed. It's very prominent among the society that we live in today. And we're all guilty of that. We all want to take that shortcut. If we get caught, well, you get caught. But you can't be proud of yourself. So we have to stop and think. I know that you say, well, that old man don't know what he's talking about. But I do, because I'm happy. I'm satisfied with my life. And when I finish doing what I need to do here on Mother Earth, and it's time for me to leave, then I'll gladly go, because I know that I'm going to another place, another dimension where I know I'll have peace, where there's no sorrow or sickness, where everything is the way that it was supposed to be here on Mother Earth, if we just stopped and thought, if we stopped and tried to correct our way of thinking. Think about it yourselves at this moment. It doesn't cost nothing. It doesn't cost nothing to be good to someone. Our children know that already, because they haven't been taught how to do other things that they know nothing about, but what they were born with. And that's good thoughts. They don't have to be guilty of nothing. But we as adults, we should be ashamed of ourselves, really. And I'm included in that. But tonight I can say that I'm truly satisfied with the way that I live my life today, because I don't want. I'm satisfied with what I have and what I know will be coming to me in the future. Even though my parents are gone, my grandpas and grandmas are gone, I still remember them in a positive way. I remember some of the things that they told me that make me smile. I remember seeing them in the mornings when they got up and talked to the Creator. When they smiled as they were talking. I wanted that. I wanted that. No one taught me how to believe in God. No one told me I had to do certain things. I let things happen in my life. And because I don't try to make things go my way, I'm satisfied. I'm supposed to be doing the things that I do today. Sitting here in this chair today, maybe I might have said something that will wake you up, make you understand that you too can have contentment in your life. Not that brand new Ford car, not that brand new dress. These are all material things. So I want to say in closing that I hope you got something from what I said. Maybe you'll say, well, he's right. He's right. There's others going to say he's crazy. He don't know what he's talking about. But I do know what I'm talking about because I live that life today. I live that life today to the best of my ability. I'm not perfect. I never was perfect. I never will be. But I have sense enough to enjoy life, to do the things that make me feel good, to do the things that I know make other people feel good. Whatever you do, I hope it satisfies you, right or wrong. And I appreciate you giving me your attention tonight. And try to remember, if one person in this audience, one person makes that attempt, it's so easy, so simple. We're the ones that complicate things. Like walking these stairs. It's simple to walk up them stairs. We don't have to go here and there, over here. We don't have to stumble. It's a simple thing. And what I said tonight is a simple way of believing, a simple way of doing things. Don't complicate your life. Don't say, well, they got a brand new car, I got to get one too. We all aren't satisfied with what everyone else has. Thank you.
Let us all resonate. You have all been Saginaw. Now you get it? Now you get it? You have been Saginaw. I'm going to get that one right there. It took me a long time to build up an understanding of the way my papa speaks so that I don't break down and be Saginaw. As I watch all your faces, I see your eyes, I see your hearts, I see your energy changing in color to vibrance. I was born to a girl, a little girl of age 15. And from the very first minute of my conception, I saved my first life. I was chosen. I saved my mother's life. She was very self-destructive. My family didn't believe in sharing tradition. They felt that I needed to learn the European way, that I would be more successful, that I would change things for the better for my family. So I was robbed, yet I was blessed. And it's taken me a long time to process that element of my life. I built a career off of being this chosen one, yet I had no attachment to tradition. So I myself became self-destructive. I watched my family crumble under the shadow of alcohol. I watched the behavior of the men that were surrounded by me. And I was lost because I was in fear that I would become one of those men. And as much as I fought that, I did become one of those men. I've been given privilege beyond privilege, like Saginaw says. Indians don't travel across great seas. And I was throwing it away because I was lost. Understanding that that connection that very essence of survival starts when you're ready to let go and accept that you are not in charge. When you surrender your spirit to that of that higher power that rises above. It's the most complicated thing is to manage the pressures, because our lives are complicated. My papa has made so many sacrifices so that I don't have to live the life that he lived. He traded a commitment, not to this country, but to the very essence and nature of our people, so that I wouldn't have to suffer that same path. I was lost, and I asked God to help me. And I love his story about the man that came to him, because when I was lost, that's the man that came to me. He saved me. We had been friends for 5 years. We were colleagues. We met auditioning. We are actors. The very essence of that business is a product of the system. And it is very difficult, if you're not of sound sight and mind, to not get lost in the ideas of the very elements that are created within your mind to control you. Ego. Ego is a very, very, very powerful demon. Ego changes every thought and choice that you make. When you are able to step out of that shell of ego, you are one step closer to finding the very essence of yourself. I was lost. And Papa saved me. But not because I asked, because it's not something you can ask for. You have to be willing to make that change. You have to be willing to accept that there's a power greater than you. I was chosen to carry this. I was given a vision to carry this beautiful message. And as Saginaw was sent to a tree for 4 months, oh, thank you, that he didn't send me to a tree for 4 months. He sent me in an airplane for 28 hours. I don't know. Sometimes I want the tree, considering how many airports I have to go through, and how many different cultures that we, the manufacturing of what we do and how we can get here to do it. That's that tree. But the reality is that when I looked into my soul, and as I did this work with him, I was still not clear, because I was robbed of my tradition. And I just say, God sent that message to Saginaw, because 3 years ago, Saginaw said, Rick, I want you to come to powwow. And from that very day, I knew that he was going to teach me. I never had a relationship with my grandfather. I never went in a car with my grandfather. I never took a trip with my grandfather. I never even had a conversation with my grandfather. And I watched him fade away. So what I say today in that is that it's never too late to identify with the fact that you need to connect. It's never too late to become a student once over. It's never too late to accept that you do not know what you think you thought you knew, and that it's time. It's time to start over. So, as each of you decide at what point or where you are in your life, you're allowed to go back and become a child again. Because if you are reborn and you can find who you are, my mom says that you are then now touching the hand of God. How does that work with us? How does that work in our lives with our pressures and our responsibilities? And how do you make sense out of a painful past to create a positive future? You accept that you've been blessed and chosen, and every one of you have been chosen, or else you wouldn't be sitting here. Every one of you want to touch the hand of God. And you all can. You got to start from scratch. And it takes work. God is not giving out hands for free. So you can't say, I know who I am now, and I'm touching the hand of God. It doesn't work that way. If that's the case, we could go to the department store and we'll go on the God aisle and we're going to buy ourselves a box of God and some God milk, and I'm going to have, I'm touching the hand of God. And it's not like that. It's about identifying who you are and where you are in your life, and accepting that you may have had problems in the past, but they're in the past. They don't live in the future for you, and they certainly shouldn't be living in your head. They are in the past. So I had to accept a lot of things. I never met my father. Men scare me, but that's in the past. I'm not going to sit on this. Watching my family destroy themselves is in the past. Many of us have experiences that we carry with us every day, night and day. We sleep on them. We live with them. We put them in our pockets. We take them out of our pockets every time we feel like somebody is doing us wrong. You want to place the blame on someone instead of taking responsibility for your part. Responsibility. These are some key words. Saginaw talked about the importance of language. One of those words, responsibility, is yours. No one owns it. No one owns where you are and how you exist. You do. When you accept the fact that you're willing to take responsibility for the decisions you've made, you've started your journey. When you're willing to take responsibility for where you are in your life, you have taken your first step. When you cease to blame and hold others responsible for where you are, you have taken your first step. Language is important. The words we use, hope, luck. There's a few more that drive me crazy. Because every one of those words sets you up for the idea that you will fail. I don't use these type of words. The intention you set and the desires you want, and they manifest on only you. So luck and hope are relevant terms to me. If I want something, I do it. I don't hope it happens. If you hope, then you're hoping that someone else is going to give it to you. And then it's not you. It's not you. It's very complicated in your eyes sometimes to manage and balance responsibility. But it's very possible that, like I said, when you accept that there's a power greater than you, it's much easier to turn to that light and say, guide me, please. Guide me to understand what I'm going to be responsible for. I'm very blessed. Saginaw has brought tradition back to me. We have breakfast every morning when we work together. And we pray. And I've never had prayer in my life. I was raised a Catholic, converted to a Christian. I'm going to let this one out. Married an Israeli and became Jewish. And now I'm back home I'm back. See, Papa's even laughing. Look at what the power of love does. But I didn't become Jewish. I became Jewish for one reason, because I learned how valuable they valued family. It was a beautiful concept because I didn't have one. And of course, then she left and took all the Jews with her. And now I feel like I walk around like a Mel Brooks comedy. Hey, there's the Asian, the African American, and the Native American Jew. And it's like, oh, great. Hey, whoa. What decisions have I made in my life? But what I realized is that God gave me a blessing because he showed me the way so many different cultures honor and respect him. My Hebrew name is Nathanael, given to me by my rabbi during my conversion. And it means gift from God. And now it resonates with me as to why I was asked to study that path. I don't practice being Jewish anymore, nor do I practice being Catholic or Christian. I practice tradition. I take action. I've surrendered my life. I'm at peace. I am at so much peace because I've given up the ego. I've given up on expectation. Another word, expectation. When you have expectation, you have already stopped taking that step. I'm at peace now. And I'm a student. I had a wonderful interview with the lovely right here, and she was under the idea that I danced. And I love to put myself in the third person. Who gave you the impression Rick Mora dances? And I share this with you. I've never entered the powwow ring yet. I didn't feel confident. And yesterday, my papa took me, and I danced. And I danced. And I danced. So that goes back to the idea that it's never too late to start all over again. It's never too late to identify with where you are and make those adjustments. I pay rent like you all do. I don't have children, so I can't imagine the responsibility these days of that life source. But I do know that if you're all sitting here today, you have been chosen, and the children that we have with us, they are your chosen. And so it's our responsibility, yours, each and every one of your responsibilities, to make sure that you present to that gift, that life, the most important elements that exist to provide insight, guidance, and love it. They're so good. They're so good here with us. But it's your responsibility, no one else's. It's your responsibility to establish tradition. Even if you don't have tradition, then you make tradition. It's never too late to start. I often ponder, what my family will be like someday. But right now, I've found who I am. I've discovered that I have been chosen to be of service. I have been chosen to carry the voice of the one man that I always say, this is my Native American Jesus. And I'm so blessed and honored to try to make sense to you all about the value of what he has explained. And even myself, I am still Saginaw by the stories and how it works. But I also know that you all have the opportunity to hear his voice, but you also have the opportunity now to seek out someone yourself that you know can provide you with the insight. No one here has the answers. You don't wake up and go, oh, I know the answer to that one now. It doesn't work that way. You have to be willing to accept that you don't have the answers. You have to be really willing to accept that you need to seek out the answers. But our system is designed. Our system is designed to suppress you. Our system is designed to control you. Our system is not set up for you to succeed. And you can't blame the system for where you are. You are designed to succeed. You are designed to rethink this process. You are designed to have choice. No one has taken that away from you. Your responsibilities don't take away from your ability to choose what you want for your life. Your responsibilities are not the excuse for you to be self-destructive. Your responsibilities are not controlling you. We all have to have reality checks. We are all a product of the system, but it doesn't control you. You allow it to. I'm often in awe that when I still, to this day, fill out applications and they ask for us to check, for some insane reason, which I don't even know why it's relevant, they want to know who you are. Like, I'm gonna, all these applications show up on my face and I'm learning, I'm applying for a loan, what's the relevance of who I am? And I look at these choices: Hispanic, Caucasian, African American, Asian, Pacific Islander, and then other. Other. I'm other. What is other? Where do they come from? It's because they still don't want to acknowledge that we exist. We work for a union, the Screen Actors Guild. It's a very powerful union. I want to say that the Los Angeles, New York platform is based off of this union. It's a very powerful entity in our lives. I looked at a scale, and they show every year, who is working what. They show the wheel. They show the circle of culture. And here we go again. Caucasian, Asian, African American, Latin. The wheel's complete. It shows how many of these cultures are working, how many of these faces you get to see, how many of these people you get to identify with. We aren't even 1% on this wheel. So the relevance of who we are and how we represent who we are is our responsibility. Because if we left it up to them, they would just be satisfied if we just disappeared. That's the system designed to suppress. I laughed when I did an interview the other day too as well, and where I am, I'm often asked to provide my birth certificate just to prove that I am born in Los Angeles. Unfortunately, when I was born, apparently there was only African Americans and whites. Guess what? My birth certificate says WHITE. Now that's going to really go crazy if there's some kind of Armageddon and I got to go get in line. And they're, okay, Africans over here, white people over here. Guess what line I'm going to have to be in? The system is designed to suppress. So no matter what cards you're dealt with these days, accepting who you are, understanding where your place is, and taking the responsibility for yourself and how you want to be proactive with your life is only your choice. It's your gift. It's why you were chosen. I think that's how it works. It's why you were chosen. But truly, it starts back from the very beginning, because the self-identity crisis has to be approached through tradition. You have to set that example for your children. You have to be a role model. Every day of my life, even to this very day, my mother calls me and says, I love you. I love you. The power of love is strong. It made an Indian become a Jew. The power of love is strong. So strong, it makes you delusional. Very delusional. But there's a reason why it all happens. And it wasn't my choice. It was God's choice. My grandfather was right. I became educated. I'm a college graduate. I took a degree that I thought, because I was, party animal, high school kid, woo, I got in college, but I really didn't want to study. I just wanted to get out of my house. I wanted to escape because I needed to get out of my house. It was unhealthy. So I used education to do that. And I took a degree in a major called speech communication. And I was like, this is an easy one. No math, no science. I can skate through this and party. And the reality was, it was my blessing. Because look at what I'm doing today. This is what my degree in college is. And I never imagined that God would put that into my until now. I just reconnected and realized He's been looking out for me since the first minute I saved my mother's life. He's been looking out for me my whole life. He's saved me so many times. So when I got to this point where I said, I'm not going to do this anymore, He gave me Papa so that I could be reborn and start over. And truly, I am blessed. And I wake up every day and I say, I am blessed and thankful. Jim, we said it this morning, and we said it yesterday morning. I love my life. I am at peace. I want you all to be at peace. I wish that for every set of eyes looking at me right now. I want you to wake up every morning and be at peace. Because that's the only way you're going to be a good role model for everybody around you. And everything each and every one of you do affects someone around you. And you have to be conscious of it. Being conscious will reestablish a moral platform. Being conscious will give you the reason to love. I don't live my life anymore for myself. I live my life for you. I've been chosen to take a 79-year-old man around the world to speak. Where's the job application and where did it? It's not on Craigslist. Wanted, warrior for chief. I'm of service. I'm in awe when he says thank you to me. I don't want to be thanked. I'm honored and privileged and so overwhelmed with the blessing that God has given me. He has given me back something that I never had. Saginaw is the first man in my life to accept me and accept the value of who I am. I'm 45 years old, and this is the first man in my whole life to tell me I was valuable. It's empowering. This is why I've chosen this path. This beautiful platform of past and future is what life's about. It's full circle. We all are going to come full circle in our lives. It's only up to you as to how you get there. And you cannot complete the circle until you accept the fact that there is a power greater than you. And like my mom said, when you find that place, you are now touching the hand of God. Empowering, huh? Can I say that you guys have been Rickified?
No, I was going to say we've been rigged.
Yeah, God, I love it. I love it. Sweetness, where are we on time? Okay, well, you want to throw down a couple of questions? We're going to throw down on a couple of questions.
Okay, so now you've been Saginawed and Ricked. It's actually, Rick was talking about the interview he did this week. The title of it was Rick and Roll, and it's a blog that he wrote for the Huffington Post. So if you want to know even more about this man and his transformation, it's incredibly brave. And so I know Saginaw says not to spend too much time at the Keys, but if you are doing it, Google the article. So who has a question? Someone's got to. Yes, Lola.
Lola.
You guys met earlier in the week.
Lola.
Lola's from Koori Radio.
Look, I'm really pleased because I was hoping, I knew you didn't dance. And you know, the great thing about it is that you got to dance on the people of the oldest, continuous peoples of the world. And I hope you always remember that.
It's priceless.
And thank you, because I just knew it. And I was hoping that it was going to happen, but I didn't realise how quickly it was going to happen. So, thank you very much.
Oh, Lola, you put it out there. That's what happens. Remember, if you want to achieve something, put it out there. That's the beginning. Put it out there.
And can we see that in the next video?
The next video of the groove? You want of my groove thing?
Yeah.
I'm sure at some point it'll pop up.
Yeah. No, I'm just really pleased that it's happened.
Yes, it did. It happened. It's transformational, and it happened here.
Great.
Love. Thanks.
And Lola, actually, Rick said the other day it was because he watched the Indigenous male dancers in our opening ceremony yesterday, and it was so powerful. Ooh. It was incredible. We'd seen them before, and they were great.
We've seen them 3 times, and then this one was just this performance we saw was just, oh man, it was
powerful.
I'm speechless.
Also, too, just to say that with our people, with grassroots people and people who live and breathe our people, we prefer the term Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islanders. Mm. Also, too, if because of Stolen Generation, there are a lot of people that don't know who they're coming from and they're still searching for their families, or people identify with their language groups here. We've always found that the wider community and the government have always changed names and given us words. And this is the latest word, where they put us all in one basket. You know, we are made up of over 500 nations in this country, and we still have a lot of those nations. There's people still practicing ceremonies, singing, speaking languages, and carrying on the traditions. So I think it's really important that people, when they come here, that they know that we are and always will be Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, or as our people know, we're Wiradjuri, we're Gamilaroi, I'm Urabara. There's so many different language groups here, and people need to find out. People know about Native Americans more so than they know about us. And they embrace your culture more than they embrace our culture. And I thank you for coming here and first of all making the connection with our peoples, with the many different nations that you've actually met in Sydney, because a lot of us here are refugees from many other nations within this continent that have been removed from family, from culture, from traditions. But as we come to the cities, we all start to reconnect and find our way back to our people, whether it's in a different land. But this is the issue we have today, that so many of our people are refugees and have been moved around this country so much, and people are still trying to find their families and their connections.
I feel you, Lola. I feel you. I hope that your applications don't say other as well.
No, it does have Aboriginal there.
Perfect. At least you can identify with something.
Yeah, and we've just finally looking to put Australian South Sea Islander there because there was the other.
So, got it.
Australian South Sea Island people now will have a box to actually tick.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Lola. We have a question up there in the back.
Just for everybody, other is 0 for eternal, THE, and R is righteous.
I love it. Oh, I
love
feel
that.
important all of a sudden. Now I'm going to go around writing other on all my applications.
Now I'm up the back, and I do want more questions, but also I wanted to give the mic to Christina Karasoulis. She runs the Redfern Community Centre, and she does a really great job of connecting people to culture. here in Sydney in particular. But Christina, can you tell us what it's been like for your group interacting with Rick and Saginaw this week?
Hi guys, how are you? Nice to see you again. We were very blessed to have a visit by Saginaw and Rick at the community centre. We were having a Father's Day barbecue, and just worked out beautiful. We had a celebration of elders and leaders who were all very, very interested to come and meet with you both. And since then, I know there's been awesome segues and connections being made out at Macquarie's chair. And I can tell you they've been coming back to community, and I'm getting goosebumps, and sharing with me the profound connections that they've been having. And I can see the sparkle in their eye, and they know that they're identified and listened to and understood by people of their own cultures. They really resonated, and I can just pass on how thankful they are for the experience of connecting with you and being listened to. So, thank you.
Mika, we have one right here.
Okay, I'll sprint.
Yeah, you got
Good thing I'm a runner. Woo. Do it in my long skirt. That'd definitely change the tone of the show, wouldn't it? Trip up the stairs. Sounds like me, though.
Hello. It's an honour to be here tonight with everybody. And I was going to ask the question about the other tick in the pages, because I have never... a piece of paper to me is nothing. Do you really, deep inside, feel that other is you, or...?
Oh, I simply make it, to me it's cynical. I laugh at it. I don't,
Right.
That birth certificate doesn't define who I am. My
Yeah.
mother defines who I am.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that simply is a legal piece of paper that the system is designed
Yeah.
to suppress.
Because I have never taken on anything that a piece of paper like marriage.
Oh, no. I
To me,
say
a
it in
marriage
jest.
is okay, because I just wanted to...
I say it in jest because I like the joke about if there was some kind of Armageddon, I got to go to that line.
Right.
And I'm sure it's going to look pretty funny, me standing there with my European cohorts in crime, so.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wonderful. You're welcome.
Also, I just wanted to say to the lady down the front, because we've always been told to call Aboriginal people Indigenous, and now I know that it is okay to say Aboriginal. So thank you for that.
All right. Good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I felt the same, actually. Coming up through school, it's like, you're not allowed to say Aboriginal. And they're like, it's great to actually hear what the right wording is.
Thank you for your presentation tonight, and Saginaw, I'm struck by your wisdom. I'm a traditional owner from the South Australia. My people are the Adnyamatna people, and I'm an Urartu. That means that I'm an Adnyamatna person, and that's my moiety group. I'm the North Wind, and we've just been sitting in a week of talking about how do we talk to people about God. And so it was very refreshing for me to hear you talk about Mother Creator, about our Creator. These are people from World Council of Churches, so they're people from the mainstream religions who speak, for them, their liturgy is, the Lord's Prayer, and they seek God. Our people, my people, when I go to talk to them about God, they don't want to know. Because when God came to this country, they took away our land.
They did as well for us, but it wasn't God that came to the country.
No, that's right. God was already here.
Yes.
He didn't come to this land on the endeavour. God was already here, and we have that. We have our name for God. He's Arawatana, the Most High, Undakarana, the centre person, and Wangapi Muyu, Spirit Breath. And I was just interested to hear you talk about Creator. It was very refreshing. for me to hear
I'm
you
a
talk
student.
about
I'm a
Creator.
student of my papa. So
Yeah, of
that's-
Papa.
that's-
I
yeah.
was very, talking to Papa there. But what are some of the names that you use for Creator? Some of your own names, because for us, the word, for spirit, the word God, that phrase for us is a loaded
Of course it is.
understanding.
I
And-
try
and
to choose language that is
yeah.
accessible, and that seems to be the most comfortably accessible 3 letters that
Yeah.
allows everybody to understand the principles behind
That's right, yeah.
behind the idea of creator. And even I've when I listen to Saginaw speak, he has his own language and his
Yeah.
own identification with his relationship with that higher power.
Yes.
I've always just said it's a higher power,
Yeah,
but
that's
when
really-
we're in a comfortable setting, and I guess the easiest way for me to help people connect, is the 3-letter word that kind of universally everybody can adapt to. But truly, it's just that higher power that you identify with.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming here. I think I can speak on everyone's behalf and say we're all very moved. I'm a writer and an author, and I was born to Palestinian parents, and I noticed something growing up in Australia, that nobody was telling my story. So I started telling my story. And not everybody wants to hear it, but the people who do want to hear it were very open to it. And I guess my question is, do you find that in America, more people from other cultures are picking up their pens or their laptops and telling stories? Because if we leave it to people who don't understand our experiences, we're always going to be portrayed incorrectly.
All right. This is the curse and the blessing of social media. I'm going to say that this is where social media becomes beneficial, because it allows you the route and access to tell your story on your own, not free, I say on your own freely. Now, unfortunately, because of that opportunity, you also set yourself up for criticism and judgment from those who want to make judgments and say things because they don't have to own up to it. And so you have the responsibility only to tell your story and to those who need to hear it. There is a very sensitive social climate around the world right now, and there's no right formula for me to say this is the way you do it and this isn't the way you do it. I know that we are taking it one step at a time, and it's a slow step, but we're doing it. We're doing it, and I guess I just would encourage you to continue in your journey in educating people one step at a time, and utilize that system to benefit your ability to spread your words, and don't listen to people who criticize you. Okay.
Big round of applause for Elder Saginaw Grant and Rick Mora.